yesterday in our class. So you should be able to see my screen. Last class, we went through all of this to build out our first app. We went through what's in my App Inventor. We learned how to use text-to-speech, have our app talk. We learned how to put it on our mobile device. We created multiple screens. We had a main screen and a animal sound screen. We learned about layouts and fill. We used wave files to create different sounds for our animals, and we programmed the sound using code. This is actually day 2's finished product. You can see here animal sounds is still there, but we're adding a search for animals button. And when they do that, we're going to add a animal search screen, which is a simple screen where it has a button, it has a search bar which has search for animals, and then below here, even though it's invisible, it has a web browser. It's basically putting a web browser inside of your app. So the idea is people will search for animals here inside of our theme park, and then once they click on search, it'll actually show up down here. This is where we started with, though. This was day 1. So for day 1, before we get started, we're moving on day 2. We created this app. It's our animal park zoo. We had our picture there. We had a label here and a button, and we used text-to-speech. Text-to-speech, again, from day 1. When they click on our picture, we coded it to say a message. So it simply said, "Welcome to Jamie's Amazing Zoo," anytime they click on our button. We also had the button animal sounds. When they click on it, we're going to the animal sound screen, which we made here. Are there any questions on just screen 1, which is our home screen? Are we good?
Yes.
We're good? Okay. So from that, day 1 again, kind of reviewing, this was our animal sound screen, and we created a bunch of different things here. We made a button that takes us back home. Remember, every screen should get you back to your home screen. You don't want to get stuck on this screen. We created 3 horizontal arrangements here, 1, 2, 3. That way we can put 2 buttons in each of them next to each other. We renamed the buttons. We added a picture of an animal. We also put the text of the animal on top of there. And then we added 2 invisible components, which was the player background music and the sound animal sounds. And the background music was going to give you background music so it can play throughout your app. And the sound animal sounds actually plays the effects. This was the code that we finished on day 1 with. We had button home, which takes us back to button home. Open another screen, screen theme. All of our 6 buttons, we created this procedure using dry, do not repeat yourself. We made a procedure to set the source of whatever sound we pass this procedure and then play it. And we're calling them like this. So we have play animal sounds, and I pass it. The sound to play is lion wave, or the sound to play is chipmunk. The play is owl. And all the work is really done here, and we're simply calling this procedure. Oh, any questions about that? Nope. Okay. So day 2, we kind of started with reviewing dry principles, and we're expanding to them. So I have these 6 procedures over here, 6 buttons, events. Remember, the brown blocks are events that happen in our app. So I have button lion, button chipmunk, button owl, button T-Rex, button peacock, and button butterfly. They're all calling this procedure, so all the work is done here. We're passing it the sound, like I said. We set the sound and we play it. But we also want to add the ability to have our app say the lion's name, or the chipmunk, say the chipmunk, owl, T-Rex, peacock, butterfly. So we did that on screen 1 using text-to-speech. And before I go on, you all have your App Inventor open on your computer so you can follow along?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Suarez, do you have it on your computer? Yes? Okay. So we're on day 1 on your App Inventor, and we want to kind of create check marks of what we did day 1, day 2. So what I want you to do is click on Project. You can see right here on my screen it says checkpoint. I want you to click on checkpoint like that. And erase where it says checkpoint and type day 1 like that. And then go ahead and click OK. And what that does in programming, when you're constantly enhancing or adding to, you want kind of safe points where you know all the code works, everything works. So right now we just created a checkpoint of day 1 stuff. We know our animal sounds is working. We know our home page is working. If we add anything that messes up our app and we just completely can't get back to where we were, we always have a checkpoint to go back to.
Can you say day 1?
Yeah, day 1. There's a part that says underscore checkpoint. I'll do it again. So, see, mine is already called day 1. It looks like that. It says checkpoint. Take the checkpoint 1 out of there and do day 1. So yours will say animal zoo underscore day 1 like that. And you'll know this is your, if we wanted to go back to just the day 1 code, we can actually get to it. Click OK. Are we good? I thought I had to take away and I messed it up last night. Mrs. Suarez said she messed up. Okay, what did you mess up? I'm going to show my code. This is what you should have for your animal sounds. So what questions, what part of your code looks different from my code? Okay. While Mrs. Suarez is checking that, do you all have devices to check, to compare, to check your code as we update stuff? Have you paired your device with the App Inventor?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me know when you have everything up, Mrs. Suarez. While she's putting that in, what we're going to do is add to our procedure. Again, it's going to not only just play the animal sound, it's going to say the name of the animal. And then I'm going to introduce you to a join statement and how to join different parts of text together. And then we'll do the web browser part. We're going to do all the coding first, and then we'll talk about how do you publish your app before people can install it.
Okay.
In class, I did it the other way. We did the Drive principles, then we created a portfolio page, which is a website, and on our website we had a picture of our app, a description of our app, and a QR code. So if we sent that link to anyone and they scanned the QR, it would actually install the app on their phone. So we're going to do that last and do all the coding in App Inventor first.
Okay.
Update, Mrs. Suarez. She got signed out. Okay. Mrs. Suarez, if you mouse over to the left side of this video session, you'll see a green monitor with an arrow. If you click on that, it'll present you options where you can select your desktop and you can share it with us. That way I can see your screen and kind of help you wherever you're having problems. Do you see where the green monitor is with a white arrow in it? Okay, can you share your screen with us? Okay, so now I can see your stuff. That's better. Now I can compare what you have. Okay. Sounds. So, um, I'm gonna do it even faster. Go ahead and delete Tiger Touch Up. You can right click on it and do trash. Or delete block, sorry. Okay, right click on the line block and duplicate it. Now, where it says line, click on that drop down and just select your other animals. And you can change the file there. So you can do that. Do that 6 times for all 6 animals, and then you'll be where we are. Okay. All right. And I can see you added stuff for your play animal sounds. You have if it's playing, stop, which is different. But it would work. Let's see if this is playing.
The
That'll
sound wave, the sound waves for monkey should be monkeys. You got zebra there.
Oh, yep. You see that, Mrs. Suarez, underneath monkey, that click, you're actually passing it the zebra sound, not the monkey sound for the sound file. Okay, so this is what we have. You can see my play animal sounds. I simply have two things, and again, all the work's getting done inside of our procedure here, play animal sounds. We're simply passing a sound to play. We're passing it lion, chipmunk, owl, T-Rex, peacock, butterfly, etc. We also want to have our app say the name of our animal. So in order to do that, if all the work's done in here, just like we've passed it the sound, we need to pass it the name of the animal. So we need to add another input here for people to send to this procedure. So I want you to go ahead and click on your blue options box for play animal sounds. You can see here I have an input. I'm going to drag it and connect it just like that to my play animal sounds. Then I'm going to rename it animal. Let me okay, let's see.
Okay. Click on the blue box.
Click on the blue box. And go ahead, click on the blue box.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it again, so I'm going to delete mine. So you can see here, I'm clicking on the blue box like that. It brings out this fly out menu where I can have inputs that I need for this procedure. You drag this input and connect it right there. And then I simply rename it animal. We good. Let's see.
I'm seeing nothing is highlighting. Oh, there we go.
Your thing is not opening up, I see.
No.
Stars has hers.
No, it's not opening.
That is so weird.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is. No, why. Just click on that left side, drag that, and connect it. There we go.
Right here?
Underneath it, yeah, it has a connect. And then rename that X. You can leave it in. It doesn't matter which, if it's on the top or bottom. Rename that animal. So that is going to be an input that each call to this method is going to need to pass it the name of the animal as well. And you can see, now that I have two inputs here, sound to play and animal, if you look at all your 6 buttons, now they're saying, hey, I need something else as well.
Oh, okay.
And you can see I have warnings. Down here I turned on show warnings, and you can see all these are warnings, which is, if you click on it, it'll say, hey, there's something else that you need to fill out, which I need to pass it the name of the animal, right? So we want to pass it the name of the animal. We could do this and type lion, right? But we're practicing dry principles. We do not want to repeat ourselves.
Right.
So I don't need to type it here because if we look at our designer, I already typed the name of the animals here for each button. So if I look at lion, for BT and lion, I typed it inside of my text property. It's right there. Or for T-Rex, the same thing for my text property. And you can remember, for coding blocks, we can access any of these properties for each button by accessing our green blocks on the back end. So I don't want to type lion in the code. I actually want to use whatever I put in this text property. So if I change this to orange lion with mane, here it'll still say whatever I type here. That way it's not, I have to go change it somewhere else. You all understand why we're using this? Okay. So let's go to our blocks. And again, I don't want to do it this way because if I change the name of the animal on the front, then now I have to come here and change it as well. I'd rather just change it on the front and it's the same throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and click on your first button, whatever your animal is. Remember your brown blocks or your events. If you scroll down, you'll see all of your properties blocks, which are green. And you'll find this block right here, BTN, whatever the name of your animal is, .text. And that, in essence, is what we typed on the front. I want you to connect that and where it says animal. And you're going to do that for all of your animals. I'm simply going to duplicate these and change it for the right animal. So that's my chipmunk. You can also see once you connect these blocks that your warning for that block goes away. Change this to my peacock, and then lastly change this one to my so let's check. Yep, I can see you all are working on that. And while you do that, I'm going to connect my tablet. So again, that second spot, we're passing it the text that we called it on the front of our button. Tiger.text or zebra.text is simply zebra. It's just text that represents that animal. And let's make sure I can scan code. All right, let's see. All right, let's see, Mrs. Suarez is good, and
I'm just missing one more.
okay.
Monkey.
Well, you can actually just copy. You see where you have monkey? Copy that monkey.text. Right-click on it and do duplicate.
Oh, right here?
No, the green one. Yeah. Right click on it and do duplicate. Whoops. Yeah. Now go ahead and connect that to animal and drop BTN monkey, and you can change it to penguin. And you're good.
Okay.
All right. So here, right now, let me zoom out. This is what our code looks like. We're calling play animal sounds, which is this. We're passing it the name of the sound we want to play, which is our lion sound. We're also passing it the text, btn lion.text. That, again, if I click on my btn lion, it's whatever value is inside of here. So I'm, in essence, passing lion. Or for T-Rex, I'm passing T-Rex. So whatever I typed here, it's getting passed to our play animal sounds procedure. Again, what we want to do is have it say the animal and also hear the animal at the same time. So on screen 1, go back to Designer in your app. On screen 1, we use something called text-to-speech, and this is kind of a recap on that. Text-to-speech is a simple component that allows your app to talk to the user. Text-to-speech was located under Media, so go ahead and click under Media, because on this screen, you can see we don't have text-to-speech. If I go back to screen 1, you can see text-to-speech is a non-invisible component, and it's here. But each screen is independent of itself. So on my animal sound screen, you can see I only have my player and my background music. I want to go ahead and add text-to-speech. So you're going to drag text-to-speech from the left side into your app. And whoops, I dragged the wrong thing. There we go. Text-to-speech, drag it in, and you should see it and underneath your non-visible components at the very bottom. So let me just double check you all are good. You also will see it here underneath your components at the very bottom, text-to-speech. So I see that is good and you're good. All right, so this is what we're going to use. And again, these are the properties. You can change country, language, pitch if you want it to be a man voice, lady's voice. But we simply want it to say the animal. So let's go back to our blocks. And again, all the work gets done in our procedure, play animal sound. So we're going to add some code to play animal sound.
I'm sorry, I didn't see where you
Yes.
said the text-to-speech.
Okay, let's go back to your designer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're on your designer, okay. Go to media on the left side.
Oh, on the left side, okay.
Yeah. And you got to add that component in. See it right there, text-to-speech. It's the third one down. Go ahead and drag that into your app.
Down here?
Just drag it into the design, and it'll add it down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It adds it down at the bottom because you can't see text-to-speech, but you can code with it. So that's why you can. The bottom part is like stuff you can use, but you can't literally see it on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's see. Make sure, Mrs. Suarez, you're good. Okay. So we're on. Go ahead to blocks. And we want to use that text-to-speech component to simply say the name of whatever the animal which we're passing over here. So text-to-speech, you can see I have to scroll down, but I have the component at the very bottom. I want you to click on that. And as a quick review, we've used this before. Remember your brown blocks are events that happen in your app. The events for text-to-speech is after I say something, I can code. Before I say something, I can code. Here's my action block from our procedure where I can speak a message. And then here's all my property blocks, which are green. But I'm going to grab my purple action block, and I'm going to connect it inside of my play animal sounds, just like that. So you have to scroll down. It's at the very bottom. You see where it says text-to-speech? Yep, speak message. There you go.
This one?
Mm-hmm. And you're going to drag that inside of your play animal sounds.
Which one?
Which one?
Play animal sounds procedure. So if you see on my screen here, this is where we're connected.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So text-to-speech simply needs you see the open part that we need to connect. We want to say, put text in there, whatever the message is. Well, we're passing it text here, we're passing it to animal for all of these different blocks. So we're simply going to mouse over animal like this, and you can see this fly out menu. You have get animal or set animal. We want to get the animal, which is the animal's name.
Mm-hmm.
Grab that block and connect it there. So I'm going to show you, well, let's see, make sure you all look good. So you're going to mouse over animal. No, don't click it. It'll highlight it to check. Just mouse over it. Now grab the get animal and put it inside of there. And let's see, Mrs. Suarez is good. Okay. So I'm going to show you my app that it's currently working. I want you to test yours. So this is my app. You can see
Lion.
it says lion.
T-Rex. Chickman. Peacock. Owl. Butterfly.
So test your app, and I'll put my code back on the board.
Panda, elephant, lion, zebra, penguin.
Yep, mine's work. Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Mrs. Suarez, is yours working where you can hear the name of the animal and it plays a sound as well? No, it just sounds. Okay. You have an error in your thing. Okay. Error from companion. That means you're not connected. Your device has lost connection to App Inventor. So you got to do reset connection and reconnect your device. Did it connect? Not yet. Okay, you have a runtime error. No, it just sounds getting other errors. Okay, show me your code. Click on dismiss. Scroll over. I need to see. You see where it says BT and animal sounds? Oops. Okay. Your play animal sounds has a couple So where it says sound, animal sound source 2, drag that right below text to speech. So click on drag that and connect it right below where it says text to speech speak. The if statement at the very top, go ahead and delete that. Well, just right click on the if statement. Oh yeah, you can do that too. All right, so your error you have here is you're not setting a source. It says sound, animal sound source 2. You want to set it to the sound file. Okay, now click on the error message again. Eric from companion, that means you're not connected to your device. Try to reset your connection and scan it with your device. Your device has to be connected to your home's Wi-Fi. For the AI companion to work, they have to be on the same network. So on your phone or your tablet, turn on your Wi-Fi and make sure you're connected to your home network. If you're using your cell phone internet, it won't work. Okay. Once Mrs. Suarez gets her device connected, we're going to add to it, not saying just the name of the animal. We're going to say the animal sounds like this.
Okay.
Did you test it, Mrs. Suarez? Did it connect correctly? It works. Okay. So, quick review of what we do. We, again, play animal sounds is our procedure that we made. In day 1, we only had passing sound to play, and we passed it with that. For day 2, we actually wanted it to also say the name of the animal. So we added another input called animal, and we added text to speech, and now it's simply saying whatever the animal is that we passed it over here. Any questions on what we've done so far?
No.
Okay. So the next part, we have these built-in blocks. We've used text before. We've used this to simply type in text like this. I introduced join statements yesterday in class, where you want to join two pieces of text together. So if I wanted to say the lion sounds like this, I gave this example. I would say the lion So join statement, basically, you can join together different parts of text. But when will we actually use it? If we simply have a sentence, oops, like this, the line sounds like this, we would use just this block. It doesn't make sense to do 2 blocks that I can simply type the rest of it sounds like this. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So if I have 2 sentences like this, I don't need this join statement. I can simply grab one of them. What the join statements are used for is when you have something that changes, and you want to use that. For our example, I could not put, right now it's simply saying animal, but I could not put this block inside of here because when they touch peacock, it's going to say the peacock, it's going to say the lion sounds like this, and it's going to hear peacock sound. When I touch butterfly, it's going to come in here, it's going to play the butterfly sound, and it's going to say this lion sounds like this. So in essence, you really use join statements when you have something that changes. The something that changes in our sentence is this, lion. So it shouldn't always be lion. It should be whatever the animal is. Do you all understand that? So we're going to use a join statement with our animal in order to speak that message. So I want you to go ahead and pull animal out of the speak message and go ahead and click on text over here. And I want you to grab the second block, which is join statement, put it where it says message. We're going to join 2 parts of text together. Let me double check, make sure you all are good. Stuff is good. Okay, so we're all good. So we're going to put animal in the first part because we still wanted to say whatever the animal is. So put animal in that first join part of the statement. The next part, I want you to go ahead and go back to text, grab an empty text box, put it in there, and put sounds like this. So I'm going to again show you mine. So here's mine, and when I
Lion sound like this. T-Rex sound like this. Chicken sound like this. Peacock sound like this. Owl sound like this. Butterfly sound like this.
so I want you to test yours, and it now should say whatever the animal is sounds like this.
Elephant sounds. Lion sounds like this. Zebra sounds like this. Penguin sounds like this. Monkey sounds like this.
Nice work.
Yeah. Mrs. Suarez, we can't hear yours, so is yours working? Yes. Okay. So that kind of I introduced everyone yesterday to join statements. You would use a join statement when you have something that's going to change within that sentence with other text. Also, remember, just like we have a blue box here, anytime you see a blue box, that means there's options. So for the join statement, it doesn't have to be just two blocks. You can actually change it. So I want you to go ahead and click on the blue options box for the join statement. And I want you to drag this block right above, and you can see now I have 3, and it looks just like this. So you're going to connect this string on the left. See the empty string on the left side in that gray area? And you're going to connect that one right there, drag that over, and connect it underneath the join. Oh, not up there, to the right side. Click on the left side where it's the gray area and drag it immediately to your right. All right, I'm going to show you again. So this is what I did. I clicked on this blue options box like this. And you see this is the gray area. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to simply drag it and connect it right here like that.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, your mouse does not want to open that area. Okay. Yeah. So you can see I can add, how many pieces of text that I want to join, and that's. So right now it says lion sounds like this. We're going to put another empty text box at the very top, and we're going to put the in front of it. And this was just to introduce you to how to join text together. And when you test it, I won't show you, but you can hear it.
The lion sound like this. The T-Rex sound like this. The chipmunk sound like this. The peacock sound like this. The owl sound like this. The butterfly sound like this.
So you can see now, if you test your app, it should say the whatever the animal is sounds like this. And also the sound is playing in the background.
The elephant sounds like this. The alien sounds like this. A zebra sounds like this. Pep and Quinn sounds like this.
Sounds mixed up.
Well, I did that intentionally. So if you look at my block of text right here, I put a space after the, because if you don't, whenever you join text, if I did not put, let's just say the zebra, it would do this. The zebra sounds like this.
Okay.
Without a space after the, and even after a space after sound, just simply joining the text, you would have this. And that's you really want a space before the animal and a space after the animal. If I did that so you would know, you can see I put a space here. Also before sound, I put a space here. And that gets me what I want. It's joining the text together with those spaces. If I don't put the spaces there, it puts all three words together and it sounds really crazy.
You said you put a space before sound too?
Yep. If you don't, if I don't put a space before sound, it joins it like that.
Oh, okay.
Zebra. If I don't put a space after sound, it'll say the zebra sounds. It'll try to say this one word because it's simply reading whatever you have. So right after I put a space, and you can see that up here. You can see I highlighted it. There's a space there. Also for sound here, you can see I highlighted. I have a space there because I don't want to say zebra sounds. I want to have a space like that. So whenever you're using join statements, when you're joining text, make sure you have your spaces, or it's going to put both words together. Are you all good? Okay. It worked. Cool. All right, so that was one part of the first part that we did is just so people got drive principles again. Whenever you're repeating code over and over again, you want to make a procedure out of it because you don't want to repeat yourself. It also helps for debugging. So I would have had to have these 3 blocks of code, think about it, 6 times. So I would have had 18 blocks of code to do the exact same thing. It doesn't make sense to do that versus having 1 block of code here, or 1 procedure, call play animal sounds. I can do everything in here, and I simply call that procedure. Also, when debugging, let's say there was a problem with my play animal sounds, and I would have to go through and fix all of these different blocks if I put these 3 blocks for each one. Where something's not working, I have to go back in here. Versus if there was something wrong, I know all the work is done inside of play animal sounds, so I simply have to come in here and figure out what's going on. For example, if I had this and I tested my app, it would not play anything. And I'll say, well, man, this doesn't work. I would have to come to one place versus coming to all 6 places. Or imagine if you had 10 buttons or 20 buttons.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps you to know one place. If I'm playing animal sounds and there's a problem, I'm coming here. Or like we did today, I added to animal sounds. I simply had to add it in one place. I didn't have to add it in 6 other places to do text-to-speech, to have it say the animal sounds like this.
Okay.
Everybody kind of got why we use do not repeat yourself and dry principles?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so I want to do the second part of code that we added to our app. Again, we have an amazing animal zoo. So far, this is our home screen. We have Hear Animal Sounds. And we just finished, we completed our Hear Animal Sound screen. It looks like this. It says now, we even enhanced it more. It says the lion sounds like this, and you'll hear him. The T-Rex sounds like this. The peacock sounds like this. Yada, yada, yada. We also want to give people who download our app for our amazing animal zoo, when they come to visit, to search for the different animals that they have in our animal park. So this, come back to your home screen. And as a review as well, we have our home screen. If you think about any of the apps you use, screen 1 is your home screen, and it takes you to other places that you need. So just like we had created a button here called Hear Animal Sounds, and it took us to our animal sound screen. If we want to give our people, or the users of our app who visit our park, the ability to search for animals in our park, we need another event here to take them to another screen. So just like we created BTN Animal Sounds, go ahead on your left side, drag a button in, like that, right below Hear Animal Sounds. We're going to rename it using our renaming convention, BTN Animal Search, like that. Make sure you all look good. So you're going to rename it BTN Animal Search. So I renamed it here, BTN Animal Search, and then go ahead and customize it. Remember, you can customize it using your properties on the right side. So I'm going to do mine to match what I did previously. I have my background red. Again, you can match your own. We'll call mine Search Animals, and also have a rounded button. So you should have something that looks like that. This is our home screen again. We have Hear Animal Sounds. We know that works. Now we have Search Animals, which we're going to create the ability for them to search for animals throughout our park. I can see Mrs. Suarez is customizing her button. So renamed it. Clicked on that. Oh, Let's see.
How come I'm not getting my properties?
Because you renamed your text to speech. You didn't rename. You look at the icon. You see how it has like that talk. That's your text to speech option.
Oh, okay.
Right above it, you need that text to speech though.
Okay.
Because remember, when you touch your picture, it's going to say your name. You see right above it where it says button.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Button. You can click on that, or you can click on the actual and now that gets you to your button properties. Go ahead and rename that one BTN Animal Search. And remember, no spaces, just all one word. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and then you can change your properties on the right side. And Mrs. Suarez has her stuff set up. Okay. And this is also a review for we've used buttons on the first day training. This is how you customize buttons, and we're going to program it as well. And you got to change your text to say search for animals. Or search for you have here your favorite animals, search your favorite animals. However you want to do. All right, so we are good. We have something that looks like this. We just added our button BTN animal search right there. We need to code this. If you test it on your tablet, you click on it, nothing happens because we haven't coded it. So go ahead to blocks. I'm going to show you the long way to do it, then I'm going to show you the shortcut way. So, yeah. The long way to do it would be to click on our BTN animal search. We want when someone touches this button, it's going to take us to the animal search screen. So I'm going to look for my animal click, which is when they touch that animal search button. I would go back to control, which is our built-in blocks. I would scroll down. I can see here is open another screen with screen name. I would put that inside of there. I would go to text. I would put an empty text box in there, and then I would type the name of the screen, which would be animal search. That is the long way to do it. I'm going to delete that. BTN animal search is going to be just like BTN animal sounds. If you look at BTN animal sounds here, when someone touches it, we're going to another screen, and we simply type the screen name. So versus me doing all those steps, I want you to right-click on BTN animal sounds on your screen. Click on duplicate like that. We're going to drag it right below it. I'm going to change the second one that I just duplicated to BT and animal search. That gets rid of my error. And you're simply going to change this to animal search. That's exactly the same code. So your blocks of code should look very similar to mine. BT and animal sounds. Click opens another screen. The screen is opening is animal sounds. BT and animal search. Click open another screen. The screen to open is animal search. So you're good. Animal. That's your companion. It keeps getting disconnected for some reason. Okay, so that's good. And this is Suarez is reconnecting. All right, well, let me reconnect. So this is the code we have so far. We have 3 events. Either they're going to touch our picture, which is BT and Gantt. If they touch it, we're going to use text-to-speech to say, hey, welcome to Jamie's Amazing Zoo. If they touch BT and animal sounds, we're going to actually go to the animal sound screen. If they touch the animal search screen, we're going to go to the animal search screen. Now, if you test it, when they touch on BT and animal search, you're going to get an error. It's going to say screen does not exist or screen not found. That's because right now, if you look at it, we have animal sounds, we have screen 1. There is no animal search screen. So I want you to actually copy this text, because remember, it has to be exact. Whatever you typed in here, simply copy it. I want you at the very top, right up here, to click on Add Screen and paste. Whatever's in here should match exactly in your screen name that you're about to create. And then go ahead, when you've done that, go ahead and click OK. I'll leave mine up on the screen. And once you click OK, it should open you up on the third screen that we will talk about in a second. Let's see, check Mrs. Suarez. Okay, she's reconnecting her device. Yeah, see when you tested it, it said invalid screen animal search. That's because we didn't have that. Okay, so let's see. You're on your animal sound screen. This is your this. Okay. So, Mrs. Suarez, you can go ahead and click OK on that, and then it'll create that screen. No, wait, BT animal search. Okay, yeah, you're resetting. Okay. Let's see this. Mrs. Suarez, did you go ahead and did you create your Okay, you got to restart the tablet. Okay, go ahead and create your new screen. You can connect it later on. Um, let's see, can I see? And you're going to call it exactly what you typed down there, animal search. And that's going to create your screen for you. All right, so everyone has their new screen. I'm going to go ahead and create mine now. And it comes to this screen here. For the first thing when you create a screen, one of the first things you should think about is I don't want to get stuck on this screen. So remember, this screen is only accessed from the home screen. So I always need a way to get back to my home screen. So we did this. If you look at your animal sound screen, we did this by making a button called BTN Home and a home icon inside of it. And the coding for that, which is here, open another screen, it takes us back to screen 1. We need to do the exact same thing anytime we make a screen. We need to do the exact same thing. So I want you to go ahead and drag a button to your animal search screen, like that. I want you to rename it BTN Home. Then we're going to make it just like the other screen. Did 50. Pixels by 50 pixels. Home. And on the other screen, we uploaded an image of the home icon. So when you click on image right here, you can see it should be located. Mine was called home.jpg. It's already here. I don't have to upload anything. It's a part of my media, so I can find it by simply clicking on image, locating the one I want, and then clicking OK. So you should have something that looks like that, BTN Home. And we made the height and width 50 by 50. And the text for it, we just put home inside of there. So it shouldn't say text for button 1, it should say home. Okay, we are good. So, also a review, if I wanted to center my button, there's a couple ways you can do it, but what we want to do is simply center our entire screen. So I want you to go ahead and click on the name of the screen, which is the top parent. It should be the name of the screen. So let's just say animal search here. Click on that, and we want to change the properties for this. We're going to go ahead and I want to center everything. So you can see right here, it has a line horizontal, left. That's why it's here. I actually want it to be centered. Also, we can put a background on the home page and the animal sounds page. So I'm going to click on background image, and I'm going to locate, I called mine zoo background, and put my background in there like that. Okay, so I see that, yeah, it's hers. All right, Mrs. Suarez, let's see, what are you? You can delete that image. You don't need that image below it. Underneath components, click on delete at the very bottom. Right next to rename, it says delete. For your BT and home, click on that. The height and width should be 50 pixels. For the image, click on image where it says none, and then you should select the home image that you uploaded. You might have to scroll to see. That's it. Okay. And the text should not say BT and home, it should simply say home. So at the very bottom where you see text, well, no, yeah, for the properties, right underneath where you have highlighted, right there. Because the text is what the user actually sees. Okay. If you scroll back up, we want it to center our screen. So go ahead and click on the animal search inside of your components panel. Make the alignment for horizontal to center. And then also change your background image. Where it says none, go ahead and select the one that you use for the other two screens. You might have to scroll down. There's more. You can see on the right side you have, yeah. Okay. So far all we've done was we added a button, BT and home. We also changed our background. There's a review as well, how to rename BT and home. We also changed the height and width to 50. We also changed the image to that icon of the home icon. We also changed the text property to simply say home. And then for our screen, we're centering everything, and we added our background image. So on this screen, we're going to have the ability for our users of our app to search for animals inside of our park. We're going to use a Google search in order to return theirs. So I'm going to open up Google, and let's just say zebra. So what we're really going to have to do is understand how Google search works, the URL. So you can see this says google.com, then it has a question mark, GWS_RD equals to SSL, hashtag Q equals to zebra. If you conduct your own Google search, you'll see your web address could be different. But I'm going to explain the parts of this. So google.com, this part will always stay the same, https google.com. The other part that will always stay the same is hashtag Q equals to zebra. Q stands for query, which is a search. So it's really hashtag search equals to zebra. This part in between here depends on your network. It can change, but it's not needed. So if I delete that and I just have google.com/q #q equals to zebra, it gives me the same results. The stuff that was there before, again, I'm going to show you. This is on your network. So I have ATTUverse. ATTUverse is adding this in on my home network. When you go to Dade Schools, you'll see some other things. This stuff is not needed. That's actually not a part of the search. It's just saying what network you're on or different restrictions. Sometimes you'll see and safe search equals to, but this is really what we need. We have www.google.com/q equals to zebra. Where Q is search. So if I typed here Obama, you could see the web address, the only part that changes is this part. Or if I typed in, today's a Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl. Again, the only part that changes is this.
What's this?
Where's this?
Green that says sharing.
Say it
Blocking.
again.
I said I can't see what you're talking about because there's a green what do you call it, line that says sharing that's blocking the web address.
Okay. Let me see. All right. I'll copy it down here, inside of here. So this is the web address. Can you see that?
Hold on. Okay. Yes.
This is the web address, how Google conducts all of its searches. This part in the very front, https://www.google.com/#q equals to. Q stands for query. This part never changed. No matter what you search for, it always is the same. What changes is this.
The topic.
The topic. What am I looking for? If I understand that this never changes, and I'm asking the user for this, we're simply going to create a web browser that goes to this always, and this part is going to change. So this could be deer, or this could be bear, or this could be zebra, or this could be owl, or whatever. We're only changing this part of our web address. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
You understand, Mr. Ward? Okay. Also, we're not done building, designing our app, because look how Google's set up. We have this text box, right, where you can actually type whatever you want to search. So owl, zebra, yada, yada, yada. And we have this little search icon here. So when someone pushes search or they push enter, it conducts the search. So I can type as much stuff here as I want. I can put horse and lion and crocodile, but nothing actually gets done until I actually push this button. So for our app here, we're going to need a text box like this and a button that will conduct the search. So let's go back to our app here. Underneath design, we currently have just a home icon, a button. Right underneath home, this is introducing you to text boxes. You're going to go ahead and drag a text box there, right underneath it. It looks very similar to the Google search text box. Let's see if you all look good. As far as good. Okay. We're going to rename it TXB search. Like that. You can look at the properties. They look very similar to other properties. We're going to leave all those alone. The one thing that we do want to change is the hint. So if you look at your tablet, and actually I will show you on my tablet. So I'm going to show you here. If you look at my tablet really close, if you can see, inside of it, it says hint for text box 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to say hint for text box 1. The reason it's doing that is share. If you look underneath my text box property, it has a hint here, and it says hint for text box 1. I want to change that. This is what you want the user to type in there. So type an animal. So my hint will say type an animal. And that's my hint to the user. They just see an empty text box. They don't know what to do. Our hint says, hey, type an animal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, we're trying to build something that looks like this. We have our text box. We need a button that's to the right of it that is going to be the event. Once they push that, we're going to search for it. So go ahead and add your button in there. I'm going to call it BTN search, like that. For the text, I'm simply going to say search. I could find an icon, but for time's sake, I'm simply going to change it. I can customize. I'm going to make it look like my other button that I made on the home page. So I have that. I have a text box and I have a search button. Okay, let's see. BTN search for that. All right. When we look at Google.com or any search engine, the text box is here and the button's on the right side. Well, this is a review as well, so for day 1, everything's going to go vertically unless we use our layout options. So I want you to go ahead and click on layout. And I want it next to each other, so you need a horizontal arrangement. Go ahead and drag that. It'll look like that. So drag a horizontal arrangement right onto the screen. Then for that horizontal arrangement, I want to go ahead and make it go across my entire screen. So for width, I'm going to go ahead and select fill parent, like that. And again, filling parent, you can see animal sound, the search, the screen is actually the parent, so it's filling all the way across that. And no matter if it's a 4-inch phone or a 6-inch phone or a big tablet, it's going to fill all the way across the screen. So since I have my horizontal arrangement, I can go ahead and drag my text box in there, and then drag my button right next to it, like that. So we're getting pretty close to what we have. If you look at Google.com, we have a text box for them to enter something, then we have a button. I want my text box to go take up as much space as possible inside of this horizontal arrangement. So you can see my text box is here, my button's here. The parent of these is now this horizontal arrangement, right? So I want this text box width. I'm going to change that to fill parent. And you can see it goes all the way across the screen, and that's what we currently have. Let's see. So click on the text box, change the width to fill parent. Okay, we have that, and Mrs. Suarez has hers. All right, so we're almost there, design-wise, and then we simply have to code this. So if you look at Google, we type in zebra. Oh, actually, let's go back. So nothing is down here until I search, and then my search results show up. So we have to add a component that'll show our search results underneath here. And it only should show up after they actually search for the information. So I want you to, on the left side, we're going to introduce a new component for you to use. Click on User Interface. We were in Layout, so go ahead and click on User Interface. That's going to show you your button tab where we remember we use the button here, we use the text box. The second from the bottom is called a web viewer. You can see it right here. I want you to drag that below our horizontal arrangement. So we're going to drag that here. You have yours. So it's the second from the bottom, and you're going to, it says web viewer, you're going to drag it right below the horizontal arrangement. All right, so we're good. So you see it's invisible here, but this is actually like putting Google Chrome inside of your app or Internet Explorer. It's just a web browser that allows you to see a web page inside of your app without having to exit your app to go to Chrome or whatever the default web browser is for that phone or device. If you look at the properties, it has follow links, it has a height and a width, it has one property, home URL, and it has ignore SSL, prompt for permission, use location. These are things that you can code with. The thing we want to concern ourselves with is this, our home URL. They have one URL that we need to constantly update based on whatever they're searching for. Well, I want you to see it actually in action. So let's go ahead and just simply put google.com, http://google.com in the home address and push enter. And then I want you to look on your tablet that's paired, and you should see right below it, you'll see google.com loads on your screen.
www.
Yep, google.com. And when you push enter and you check your tablet or your phone that you're paired with, you should see the web browser showing google.com below that.
Mm-hmm. It says permission request.
It's asking if you want permissions. You can actually turn that out where it says, you see where it says prompt for permission?
Mm-hmm.
If you turn that checkbox off, it's basically going to go to the website regardless. It's not going to ask the user for permission.
Oh, okay.
So with this, we have everything designed to complete for our day 2, where we created a screen called Animal Search. We put a button here, BTN Home, that gets us back to our home screen. We don't want someone to inside of our app to come to Animal Search and get stuck here. We created a horizontal arrangement. Inside of that, we put a new component we're using, which is a text box. That's where the user is going to type an animal. On the right side, we put a button. When they click on search, it's going to search. And it's going to show the search results right below and this web viewer that we've created. Any questions on the design that we've done so far?
No.
What about you, Mrs. Suarez? Any questions so far? No? Okay. Having to restart the tablet. Okay. But do you have questions on what we've designed so far? No. Okay. All right. So we have our design. We're going to code this. Let's go to blocks. And this is our white space to add our blocks in here. And again, we have to figure out a way to pass. If you're looking, this stays the same. Google.com/Q equals 2. And this part is coming from the text box. So we have two events. Remember, this is event-driven programming in app design. We have two events. One event is they're going to click on the button search. The keyboard will pop up automatically, and they'll type the animal they want to search for. The second event is they're going to click on the search button. And then the third event, which is triggered, we actually show them the web results. But the main event that we're waiting for is for them to touch on the search button. They can type in here as much as they want, but until they put search, we're not going to code anything. Everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So our key event back here underneath blocks is going to be button search dot click. So go ahead and click on button search. Go ahead and drag btn search click to your screen. And this is whenever they search, we're going to do all the work to show, in essence, our Google results. And remember, our Google results will be, this will stay the same, and this will change based on what they type in. So we want to simply update this web viewer's home URL. So I want you to go ahead and click on Web Viewer 1. You can see it has a bunch of action or blocks where it has can go back, can go forward, clear cache, clear locations, go back. We're going to use this one, go to URL, with the URL block. So I want you to drag this one out and connect it here. Again, I got that from my web viewer. Make sure you all are good. You're good, and you're good. All right. So inside of here, we want to again pass this website. This website is really broken into two parts. This is what Google uses to search for stuff. This is what the user typed in to search for. So I introduced you to join statements earlier because we're going to need a join statement in this instance. So go ahead and click on text. We're going to drag the second block out, which is the join statement. We used this earlier today. And connect that inside of the URL. So again, the first part is going to be what I told you is not going to change. The second part is going to be what the user actually types in. So the first part, in essence, should be this. The second part should be this. So I'm going to fill in the first part with the empty text box, like that. I'll zoom in so you can see me typing. And the first part is going to be exactly this. You can type this in. https://www.google.com/Q equals. That's the first part of the website that we want to go to. So mine is on the screen for you to look at. I'm going to fill in that first block with the empty text box. So we have https://www.google.com/Q. Mrs. Suarez, you're missing an O for Google. Yeah, it would show wrong. Let's see. And you are good. So we're all good. So we have this first part of the address. The second part, again, comes from this text box. The text box we already have here. So the second part, go ahead and click on text box search. And whatever the user types in is saved in the text property. So I want you to scroll down through the properties, the green blocks, and you can see right here I have a txbsearch.text. I want you to grab that and connect it for the second part. And connect it inside of here. All right, so you're good and you're good. So now, no matter whatever they type in here, it's going to join it with my Google search address and search for that website. Now, there's one thing that we have not done. It will work if you type in, well, actually go ahead and test it. Type in an animal. You can even type in anything. You can type in Barack Obama, you can type in Super Bowl, whatever you want. Test it on your tablet, and you should see your web viewer show search results using Google for whatever it is you typed in. Okay, Mrs. Suarez is working. I'm going to leave my code up. Did yours work?
I'm gonna have to reconnect mine.
Oh, reconnect. Okay. While you're reconnecting, one part that we're only accounting for single letter words. So when I typed Obama before, and it works. But if I do Barack Obama with a space, so I want you to see here, I put a space here. This is the actual web address. So this part, again, does not change. But if you look here at the Barack Obama part, I had a space there, and they put a plus there. So that's the part that I chose you were missing to, in essence, make our web browser completely functional. Web addresses on the internet don't like spaces, so different websites use different conventions. In essence, they're changing spaces for Google to pluses. So that's the one part that we have to fix. So if we come back here to our code, right now it's simply going to that and whatever is in the search box. We're not accounting for the spaces, and we need to fix that. So we want to switch all the spaces and change those for pluses. So this is pretty much text. So we're going to go explore our text area over here. So go ahead and click on that. And we view first block. length is empty, compare text, contains text, split text. I want you to scroll to the very bottom. It's the second from the bottom. It says replace all text, the segment, and the replacement. So you clicked on text, scroll to the bottom, and you're going to drag replace all text and put that now in the second block and put your TXB search text where this parameter says for text. So I'll leave mine on the screen. So we're going to replace all the text in whatever they typed, and we're going to have to change our spaces to be plus signs. All right, so we're good. We have replace all text. We have our text here inside of this one because that's a text that we want to replace. What we want to replace is the spaces with a plus mark. So I'm going to fill these other two blocks in with the empty text box. For segment, I'm going to put that here, click inside, and put a space. So this looks empty, but you can see there's a space inside of there because I want to replace all these segments, all these spaces inside of whatever they search for. The second block for the replacement, I'm simply going to put a plus there. This, in essence, fixes our, no matter what the user types in, it formats it correctly for Google to actually return Google search results. You can see Mrs. Suarez is good, and Anna is good.
So I need a space before the plus sign?
Say it again?
Do I need a space before the plus sign?
No, because think about how if you look at the address here, if you did a space before the plus sign, it would have done this, and that's not what
Okay.
we wanted. Simply to take all the spaces and replace them with plus signs.
Okay.
So that's how Google returns the results. So test it again since we've made changes and see that. Try searching for something and put some spaces between. So white tiger or anything, Barack Obama. And on your tablets, you should see it still returns the Google search results on our screen. So I'll wait for you all to test it to make sure that it's currently working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mrs. Suarez, did yours work? Cool. All right. So this, in essence, is what we built for day 2. We added one other part to it. So if I come back here to Google, nothing shows up down here until I actually search. On our app, whenever someone comes to the screen, this is actually being seen. So it's an empty screen. We've actually put google.com in there, but we don't want anything, we don't want the web results to show up until after they push search. So this web viewer, it has a property here called visible. We're actually going to, we could turn it off here, but we're actually going to code it so you get used to code. So whenever this screen opens up, we want to hide this web viewer And whenever they search for it, we want to show the web viewer. Everybody understand where we're going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So underneath blocks, we're here. I'll scroll out some. We can click on any of these available options, the built-in blocks. We can also click on and program our animal search screen. So this screen, I want, whenever it opens up, that's an event. I want that event to hide my web viewer. So go ahead and click on animal search, which is the name of your screen. It should be right below procedures, and you'll see the blocks that you can use. It has a bunch of events that you can use to program with, and it also has all the properties, which are the green blocks. You can see back press. So if somebody on the app presses the back button on their phone or their tablet, you can code stuff in there. If an error occurred, initialize, other screen closed, or screen orientation change. What we want is initialize. So drag this block out. And initialize means anytime this screen opens up, I want to do something inside of here. That's good, and that's good. What we want to do is we want to hide that web viewer because it shouldn't be seen until after someone searches. So go ahead and click on web viewer. You're going to scroll down and find the visible property that determines if it's seen or not. You can see right here it says webviewer.visible2. I'm going to drag that and put that inside of my initialize like this. So I want to set my visibility to, so remember there's two blocks for visible. One is get and one is set. I actually want to set my visibility because I want to hide it. Okay, very good. So visibility is either it's on or it's off. So in coding, it's either true or false. And we would find that underneath logic. So go ahead and click on logic. And you can see I have both true and false there. I want it hidden, so I'm going to make the visibility false, like that. So anytime the screen opens, this block of code is going to hide our viewer. The problem is, once it hides it, we have to show it again. And we want to show it after they search for an animal in our app, or they can and search for anything. So I want you to duplicate this block. And you're going to put it up here after we've actually gone to that site and they've searched for it. We want to show our web viewer like that. Okay, you all are good. So one other thing we haven't coded was our BTN home. There's two other things we have to code. Right now, if someone came to our screen, we did not code BTN home to get us back to the home screen. Everything else works on here. If we type in whatever we type, we're telling them to type an animal, but they can ask them to type anything. Once they push search, it's going to show the results using the Google search that we've created, and these are the blocks of code that we've done. The problem that we have is we haven't coded our go back, so people are pretty much stuck here. Now we could go ahead and do this. This is the long way again, and I can do open another screen, and I can do this, and I can do the name of the screen I want to go to, screen 1. I can, in essence, do all that. But I'm going to show you how to use, and I showed them, this is something brand new. There's a backpack here. So about 2 months ago, they've added this backpack where you can share code across screens. So we've already programmed our code for BT and Home on our animal sound screen. So I'm going to show you how to use the backpack to get that same code here. So I want you to go ahead and go to your animal sounds screen that we've created here. Let's see. Okay. And you can see all the blocks of code there. This, in essence, is what we want to reuse on our other screen. So I can simply drag and hover over the backpack, or I can right-click, and you can see this option here, Add to Backpack. So either one, I want you to add the btnhome.click to the backpack. You'll hear that noise like that. And if you want to know if it's actually in there, if you click on it, the backpack, you can see it's showing up in this little gray area. So go ahead and add that to your...
Can you do that one more time?
So you're going to right-click on BT and Home,
Okay.
and you're going to select Add to Backpack. And then when you click on your backpack, that code should be within there.
Okay.
So now we can reuse that code inside of our app anywhere. Well, we need it back on our animal search screen. So go back to animal search. And click on our backpack. The code is still there. I'm going to drag that out just like that. Now if you have an error here, it'll say no component found. That means the name of your button, so we have it BT and Home here, does not match this here. I'll show you that if I had this BT and Home. Let me do this over. I'm going to delete this. So I have BT and Home here, spelled with the lowercase. If I drag this out, you can see I get an error, and it'll say component does not exist. That's because this name from the other screen does not match this name. If I simply rename this, it will fix that. All right, so everybody has their BT and Home working. All right, if you look on your tablet and test it, if you look, you're on your animal search page, but your web browser is not showing up. That's because we went to the animal sound screen, and then we came back to the animal search screen. So anytime the animal search screen opens up, we created this block of code. It hid the web browser. So on your tablet, you should not see the web browser. But after you search for something, you should see the web browser show up with the search results that you're looking for. So I want you to check your tablet, make sure it's not showing, and then search for something, and you should see that it actually shows up. It works. Cool. All right. So last part of the coding, we have one last error. So say the user accidentally doesn't type anything in, and they click on search. It's still going to go to our Google, and it's going to search for nothing. So we want to get rid of that. And you can try it on your phone or your tablet. Delete everything from the search box, and click on search, and you'll see that's an error that we kind of have to fix. The coding is right, but practically it's not working because they're not searching for anything. The text box is empty. Does everybody understand?
Can you repeat that for me?
So right now, if the user searches and the text box is empty,
Hi, welcome to Dina's Amazing Animal Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
it's going to do the correct stuff. It would show our web browser, and the address would be this.
Okay.
But this is not, the query is empty. There's nothing here for you to search for.
Okay.
We have to, the coding here is correct, but functionally it's incorrect because we only want them to be able to search when they actually type something in. They can't search for an empty text box. You understand what I'm trying?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do one last piece of code to fix that so our app works functionally, no matter if it's empty or not. So what we want to do is if the text box is empty and they accidentally push search, we're going to say, please type an animal, the text box is empty. Or else, it's not empty, we'll do everything, we'll search for the stuff. So we're going to send a notification to the user. If the text box is empty, we're going to say, please type an animal. So I want you to go back to Designer. We're going to need to add a new component that you have not used yet. And right underneath user interface, you can see there's something called a notifier. I want you to drag that to your screen, just like that. It is an invisible component, so it'll show up down here. You can see the properties for it on the right side are pretty much the color of the notification, if you want the notification to stay on the screen for a long time or short, and the text color. So I see you've added a notifier. All right, so you can see it at the very bottom here. You also should see it now inside of your components. And we're going to use this to send a simple message. If the text box is empty, we're going to say, please type in an animal. Let's go back to our blocks. And we have to have our app kind of have some type of artificial intelligence to determine if this is empty, do this, or else do this. In all programming languages, we use if statements to kind of give the app or the computer some sense of intelligence to determine this or that. That is located underneath our built-in blocks, underneath control. So I want you to click on control. You can see at the very top we have an if statement. I want you to drag if and connect that inside of our BTN search so it looks like my screen that I currently have. You simply have a if block. Okay. So just like I said it in English, if the text box is empty, I want to send a notification, or else I want to, in essence, do this code that we've done. So if the text box is empty, in App Inventor, it's the same thing. Underneath text, we've used this a lot. Go ahead and click on that. And you can see we used the first one. We've used the second one. We didn't use length. We don't need length. But the third one gives us an opportunity to see, is something empty? I want you to drag is empty and connect it to the if statement. So right now it's saying this is empty, is empty. What do we want to check is empty? We actually want to check this text box's text. So just like we used it here and replace all, I'm simply going to duplicate this and connect it to my is it empty. So my code is here. And this says, is this text box empty? If it is, it's going to return true. And we want to send a notification. So I can see, okay, you both are good. So inside of here, like I said, if the text box is empty, we want to send a notification. So go ahead and click on Notifier. You can see it has 2 event blocks, after choosing, after text, and pop. It has a bunch of action blocks, which are the purple blocks. We simply want to use 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th one down, we want to show an alert. Drag notifier.show an alert. Put that inside of the if statement here. So right now we have, if the text box is empty, we want to send a notification. The notification we're going to send, go ahead and put a text box in there. And you can type, in essence, whatever you want to type. I could say error, whatever. Empty, please type an animal. Whatever you want. So anytime you code, you want to test the code is working. So on your tablet, leave the text box empty and do a search. You should see a notification pop up. Whatever you typed in there, error empty, please type an animal to search. You're also still going to see the web browser because we have not fixed it. We only want to show that if it's not empty. But I'm going to make sure just that the notification is working. Are you good with the notifier? Is it showing up when your text box is empty?
Well,
Okay.
I had to reset mine.
Reconnect your, okay.
Okay, let's type of animal.
Okay. So right now it's showing a notification this is empty, but we don't want our web, this part of our code, we don't want our web browser to show up, our web viewer to show up, unless it's not empty. So in programming, you can have if, and if I click on this blue area here, the options, you can see I can have else if. So I can have a bunch of conditions. If it's for grades, for example, if grade is equal to A or B or C or D, I can add a bunch of conditions for the computer to check and then code appropriately what I want to do. In this instance, we only have 2 conditions. Either the text box is empty or else it's not. Because if it's not empty, then we want to show the stuff. In that instance, we don't have to compare anything. Either it's empty or else it's not. So I want you to grab this else and connect it to the if like that. So your block looks like this. Is the text box empty? Show this notification, or else do something else. Okay, we are, let's see, and it's good. This is where it's not the else if, it's the else. We don't need another condition. Yeah. So you can take the else if off and drag the else in. Yeah. You would use the else if we wanted to compare something else. But we only have two conditions here. Either it's empty or it's not. So what we want to do is put all this stuff inside of my else, because either it's empty, we show this, or else we show our web browser and our results. So now, to test this, I actually want you to, on your tablet, first go to BT and home. So go home, so that clears our screen. And then go back to search for animals. I want you to search, once you get back to your animal search screen, search using the empty text box. It should only show you the alert message. It won't show you the web browser anymore because we're using that if condition. Double check that that works before I make sure everybody's good. So once you go home, go back to the animal search on your tablets. Check it out with just an empty screen. It'll only show you the message. It won't show you the browser any longer. Everybody good?
So it should just say type in animal search?
Yeah, that's the alert that it showed you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you typed in. Now type something in and search. Now it should show you the search results with the web browser.
Okay.
Okay, so it works.
Yeah, it just shows it's just supposed to show the browser, right?
Yep, the browser and the results. So,
Mine's
in
in
essence,
results.
yeah, in essence, you built. This is how you would add a web browser for anything into an app that you wanted to build.
Oh, okay.
And the web browser could be a search browser, or it could be, let's say, you built a classroom app and you wanted to have your website there, or a resources app where you had math resources, whatever. You can actually have a web browser inside the app very simply, and you can see the blocks of code that we've really used to do that. Not that many. Any questions on what we've done?
No, mine doesn't show the results anymore.
Let me look at your code. It shows the browser and it's not showing the results.
No, before it was showing the results.
Your code is here. Let me see. What browser is this?
Oh, I see why. Hold on.
Oh, that's correct. You're not yet. Your
Okay.
code has to be connected, so now you should be fine.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the code that that's in essence what we added to our app today. But we also talked about programming. This was coding. We talked about portfolio page, and we created a portfolio page. We talked about QR codes. I showed a video on where do Androids get their names from, operating systems. If you don't know, Android names their operating systems after sweets. So we had gingerbread and cupcake, and they go sequentially. So each release of an operating system for Android, they add something to it. So they'll add touch points, or they'll add video capability. There's a video on there for you can watch on your own at your leisure about where they get their names from. Currently, the release of Android is M, which is Marshmallow. The previous release was L, which is Lollipop. The previous one that was K, which was Kit Kat. But it's a video for background information on that. Teaching through mobile technology, it shows 2 videos of how kids are using technology. It also shows, let me show you really quickly. So this video shows how a baby was using technology to learn how to count. This shows an app that a guy built for his child to talk about alligators and stuff in life. This app, if you look at it, you can actually build this app based on what we've learned so far. So you could look through that and see that as well. This part we've done, the adding a web browser. This is what we just finished actually. Here's a video on actually how Google searches. It's about 5 minutes. You can watch that on your own. This is the part that I kind of talked about here. You can see when I search for Rhino, the web's address is www.google.com/q equals to Rhino. Here's the actual video of what I've actually shown you that to walk through in case something that we went through today you didn't understand. You can actually walk through the video here, and it takes you step by step on how to add. So we're finally at the end of day 2. So you can see that'll walk you through that.
Yeah, okay.
The portfolio part is what you all are missing. And this is it here. Talks about QR codes, but it has the steps here. On first, you're going to create a portfolio page. You can see click for browse. I'm going to show you it really quickly. I don't want to hold you. You can see you're going to do a search for Gantech. You're going to create a portfolio page, and I'm going to post a video shortly, and I'll send out the email. You have obviously through next week when we meet again to complete everything. But this is what we've done. When you log into our class site, gantech.com, you see your name, you see your email, you can use your Google Drive, but I also have a portfolio here. So what we did, well, and actually we can do this really quickly. So go back to gantech.com. We can create your portfolio pages so you won't have, and then you can update them later on once. So go ahead and click on portfolio. It's going to launch a page that looks like this. It's going to ask you to sign in. And once you sign in, you should get to a page that looks like this. Let's see, everybody's good. Okay. Go ahead on the left side where it says create, go ahead and push create. And you're going to click on browse the gallery for more. It pops open this, and we're good. Okay. Inside of here, you're going to type Gantech and do a search. No spaces, all one word. And you're going to scroll down and select this one, Gantech Teacher Mobile Design Website. Looks like that. And you could scroll down to that and push select. So if you scroll right below the description at the very bottom, it has a blue button that says select. Yeah, right there, click on select. Okay, it takes us back to this page, you can see I'm using this template that I've given you all. Underneath name site, you can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to put Jamie Gant app training. You can see right below that it says site location. This will be the actual website that'll be posted for you to share anyone to see the apps that you've created. You can select any theme that you want. We'll just select whatever. And at the bottom, you want to push I'm not a robot. And then when you're done, at the very top, you're going to push create. Oh, see this error that she says the location you have chosen is not available? That means someone already has that name. You have to put a number or maybe your middle name inside of there, and then it will. That means someone already has that website address.
Yeah, it's probably mine from school.
Yeah. And when you get here, you should get to a page that looks like this. Scroll to the very bottom, and you should see I'm not a robot. Yeah, that's what you're missing. And then go ahead and push create at the top. So it's creating your site. All right. So you have a page that looks like this. On the home page is a template, and you can see to edit these pages, there's a simple edit button. What we actually did, and again, we don't have to do it now on your own. We simply updated this information, post introduction about yourself, include a picture, why am I taking this training, my favorite apps. And to do that, we simply clicked on edit, and then we simply updated the information. So I deleted these first two paragraphs. I typed some stuff about myself, and when I'm done, I push save. We did that. I want to direct you to the left side. You can see it has day 1, animal sounds, day 2, web browser, day 3, media, day 4, drawing and paint, day 5, game design. And underneath each one of those, it has a page, a template for you to post basically your app for that day. And it's going to have a QR code on it where anyone that comes to this page and scans it with their phone, it would install that app for them on that page. You can see if you look on the left at the very top, an example app page looks like this. It has a picture of the app. It has a description of the app. It has some questions. It has code. At the very bottom, it has this QR code. So that's in essence what you're going to have for each day. So for day 1, you would have the animal sounds, a picture of the animal sound screen. You would pretty much put a description of what the app currently does. You would answer these simple questions. And at the bottom, you would do a QR code, which the video that I'm going to post probably by tonight or tomorrow will walk you through this part of it. For day 2, same thing. I'll have a video to show you how to post the web browser for the very browser screen for this. In essence, what we're doing for this portfolio, there's many ways to distribute your app. The Google Play Store is one. You would have to pay $50, I think, for the license for the year, and you can publish as many times as you want. This is the Google Play Store. And let's just say I search for cancer. So if I click on any one of these apps, each app has its own page. You can see it has a visual screenshot of what the app looks like. It has a description underneath that. Then it has ratings. Or our portfolio page is going to have pretty much a screenshot, a description, and if you look at it, this is the example again. It has a screenshot, a description, and it has some questions. That's more reflection for you. So when you look back at this page a month from now, a year from now, you can know what you were doing. Also for the code blocks, you can see. So this is what we did the first part of class. We actually made our portfolio page and we designed our day 1 page, including creating a QR code. And then we did all the code that we did together on MIT App Inventor. So we added our web browser screen. So that's pretty much what we've done yesterday. All the stuff we'll do next week will be on media, how to use camera, and those type of things. Again, that's the portfolio part of it. I'm going to be posting the video and also a document that has step-by-step so you can read and follow the steps as well. That should be up by tomorrow, and I'll send it out through text and email. Is there any questions before we sign off and you can go to your Super Bowl parties?
No. Thank you for taking the time out.
No problem. If you have any questions, once I post the videos and the instructions, if you have any questions throughout the week, feel free to email me or send me a text through Remind, our Remind group. I got a message that said, the name was used. How do I change it? Which name was used? Mrs. Grant, if you're done, you can go ahead and sign off. I'll stay on and help Mrs. Suarez.
Okay. Thank you again.
Right. No problem. Okay.
Have a good day.
You have a great day as well. Okay, Mrs. Suarez, the portfolio. Go back to your portfolio page so I can see it. You have it there. Wait. Okay. Click on the left side where it says Sites. See, it already created the site for you. It's like you might have clicked it twice, so it tried to create the site twice. Go ahead and click on that. And that's your portfolio page. It already created it for you. So you're good. You have your portfolio page created. You just got to know how to update it and put in the stuff. Yeah, you probably clicked it twice. No problem. Any other questions that do you have? Have a great Sunday. Okay, I will post the information about the updates, but you all are pretty much set. Have any questions throughout the week, again, you feel free to email me or text me through Remind. Have a great day.